What's up?
Hello, how are
you?
ya? I asked you first, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. But welcome back to Giving Tuesday. Remember not to forget to pitch in at our website at obsilence.org if you haven't already pitched in already. And so far, you guys have helped us raise $5,200 out of our 7,500 goals. So kudos to you all. You got some shout outs?
I do. Stefan S. from Memphis.
Whoop whoop.
Thanks so much for giving. Also, Paula Costello from Arizona. We appreciate your support. And we'll have some more shout outs later. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Cool beanos. Well, thank y'all so much for giving and keep giving. So right now, we have Mark Hackert. He is our executive director at Operation Broken Silence. And before we actually jump into the actual questions, I wanted to ask, why Sudan? I'm sure people are wondering, why did you choose Sudan out of all the places that you could have chosen?
Yeah. So my first experience with Sudan was I was at an event that a Sudanese speaker spoke at. And he was talking about his story, how he got to pretty much the United States.
Right.
It all started in Sudan when the government came in, wiped out his community. He's one of the few survivors. And that was in the late 2000s. And like most people who are unaware that these things happen on the scale they do in the world today, I was really shocked and surprised by that. So I started meeting some of the Sudanese here in Memphis, an amazing group of people, and in 2012 decided to make the trip back upstream. And while I was in Sudan, specifically the Nuba Mountains, really got a lot of insight into a lot of the things that brought the Sudanese here to the United States in the 2000s are still happening in Sudan.
Wow.
And once you've been there, there's no, you can't turn around and ignore it. So
absolutely.
That is why Sudan.
Oh, that is so cool. So Mark is actually here to talk to us about the donations that you make, right? And how it impacts everything that we do on the ground in Sudan. So let's just jump right into it.
Sure.
First off, let's begin with education. Tell me a little bit about our classrooms in Yida.
Yeah, so about almost 2 years ago now, we learned that there was a need for primary age education in Yida Refugee Camp, which is one of the largest camps for Nuba refugees.
Okay.
And we made some really great connections on the ground. At the time, there was about 25,000 kids in the camp, most of them under the age of 14, and virtually none of them were in a classroom at the time.
Wow.
So you're literally talking about a whole generation missing out on their future. So about 2 years ago, we started making connections on the ground, learned really quickly that a lot of teachers from the Nuba Mountains had actually escaped the war zone after their schools got bombed and were living in Yida without any support, no classrooms, anything they needed to do their job. And so our approach has been, let's just put those teachers back to work. Let's help rebuild classrooms in the refugee camp, and let the Sudanese tackle this on their own and just give them the resources to do it. Absolutely.
So how will the donations people make today support these children and teachers in Yida? Like what are they doing?
Yeah, so there's two big things someone's donation will do if you donate at our website right now. The first is you will help pay teacher salaries. Most of these teachers have families they need to take care of as well. Some of them are teaching up to 100 kids a day. They deserve our financial support.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. The other thing is school supplies. On one of our live streams earlier, I think Jake mentioned that some classrooms we visited when we were there earlier this year didn't have pencils, there were no chalkboard, there was nothing. So donations you give today will also go towards purchasing really basic school supplies like that.
Right, that's amazing. So if you definitely want to donate to our just classrooms in Yida, definitely head to our website at obsilence.org to do so right now. And so the next question is we go to our emergency relief program. So tell us a little bit about how we are saving lives in the Nuba Mountains and how our emergency relief program is going to work. So how does...
So our emergency relief program, it's the first program we ever launched. We started that in 2012 with a number of other organizations at the time. So basically, the Sudanese government has forbidden outside groups, journalists from going to the Nuba Mountains and documenting what's happening, helping people there who need help. Part of that blockade is no humanitarian relief.
Wow.
So no medical aid, no food, all these things are technically not allowed into the Nuba Mountains. We pretty much ignore that because these people need our support.
Absolutely.
The government, it shouldn't be this easy for them to kill this many people off just by starving them to death. So a couple times a year, we send teams into the Nuba Mountains with food aid, with seed stock, with basic medicines. And we specifically try to target frontline communities that aren't going to get relief any other way. So that's the big focus of that program. In the past, 4 years now, we've reached about 20,000 people with humanitarian assistance.
Yeah.
And almost all of that came from private donations.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, so thank y'all so much. So how will the donations they make today impact those relief programs? Because I'm sure they're also wondering how, if they give $20, how is that going to benefit and actually reach those people with, the relief programs?
Yeah, and I mean, $20 is a great number. $20 provides about enough food for a month for a family of 4.
Wow.
So, even a small donation actually goes a really long way as far as helping people improve their living conditions.
Absolutely.
So if you give right now to our relief program, what happens is we save that money for a little bit until we have enough for an actual relief mission.
Right.
And then we work with a number of people and a number of other organizations to actually get relief supplies, food, medicines, pay for the transportation, and actually get it safely into the war zone, and then get the team that takes it in safely out.
That's just $20?
Yeah.
Y'all, $20 goes a long way. Even $10 goes a long way. So whatever you can, definitely go to our website at obsilence.org to do so right now and see how you can get involved in saving lives in Sudan. So this is my favorite. I don't know why, but I love it. It's the Mother of Mercy Hospital, since it's the only hospital in the Nuba Mountains, y'all, and there's only one doctor. So tell us a little bit about that, like what's going on there?
Yeah, so this is probably one of the most incredible stories that's come out of Sudan the past few years. So when the war started again in the Nuba Mountains in 2011, the team at Mother Mercy Hospital, including the American doctor, Dr. Tom Katina, said, we're not going to leave. We're going to stay. We're going to help these people get through this. Now the war's dragged on for 5 years now. The hospital is still there.
Wow.
It's been targeted by warplanes before, but nobody is planning on leaving. So this hospital sometimes serves up to 400 patients a day. Is completely overwhelmed with needs from basic medical conditions and illnesses all the way to wounds that come from the war. But I mean, this hospital has literally saved thousands of lives in the middle of a war zone. And at least for now, there's no end to the war in sight. So the hospital needs ongoing support.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's so he's the main doctor, but are there like nurses also there like helping him, or?
Yeah, there's a small Sudanese staff there.
Okay.
Some of them have gone through a certain amount of medical training.
Okay.
And in the coming years, as hopefully the hospital can reach more and more people, more and more Sudanese will be able to go through medical training and come back and serve at the hospital.
Gotcha. So with the donations they make right now, how will that benefit the incredible hospital? Like what are they giving to?
Yeah. So if you gave right now to Mother Mercy Hospital, there's a number of things your donation can be used for. Some of it's just basic medicines.
Right.
We have a couple of videos that we'll post later about just there's some really basic ways to save lives, and sometimes that doesn't happen because the medicine's just not there.
Absolutely.
It will also help cover additional training for some of the Sudanese staff, transportation to get medical supplies to the hospital because it is in the middle of the war zone. It's not easy to get stuff there. It's not cheap to get stuff there.
Right.
But it still needs to get there.
Yeah. So if you guys definitely want to contribute and just donate to these life-saving programs in Sudan, definitely head to our website at operationbrokensilence.org or obsilence.org to do so right now. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in because Mark is amazing. Actually, one more question.
Okay.
So before this, were you What were you doing, like, before you wanted to do this nonprofit stuff?
Sudan kind of came out of left field for me.
Yeah.
I was originally in culinary school.
Wow.
Actually, I was going to be a chef, own my own restaurant. And this is, at least to me, obviously much more important. Still love to cook.
Right.
Still love to cook with other people.
Whip up a little steak, huh? No, that's cool.
But, you know, once again, once you meet the Sudanese and see what they've been through and see the hope that they still have, that instantly becomes number one priority.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. The next live stream information or details will begin promptly at 6 p.m. and our fundraising enthusiasts will be interviewing myself. So stay tuned, and definitely don't forget that it is Giving Tuesday, and please do pitch in. If it's not our nonprofit, definitely pitch into other nonprofits that you care about, love, because it is a global movement for peace and justice everywhere. But for us, it is for Sudan. Thank y'all. See y'all next time.
Thanks, guys.